Hi, I'm Brian Lane. I'm a physics education researcher and a Pathfinder Infinite master. This is a new series where I want to show you what it's like to design for classes in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. The way this will work is each episode we're going to live design a class option for one of the classes in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. These are frequently referred to as subclasses, although there's no official published name for all these little options you get within your classes. And of course, some classes don't have proper subclasses like the fighter and the monk. We'll figure out what we're doing for them when we get there. But we're going to go alphabetically, starting with the Alchemist. We are going to be doing a remaster-compatible Alchemist from Player Core 2. I was super excited when I saw the changes for Alchemist for Player Core 2. I assume it works better at the table. It looks like it'll work better in play. But just from a game design perspective, it looks like the process is a lot clearer for how we can create options for the class, how we can scale the power, make it comparable, and create new options for the class without having to design an entire new line of alchemical items. So, in order to demonstrate that this is spontaneous, that I'm not working off of a script on my second monitor, the way we're going to do this is at the beginning of each class design, I'm going to go to this website, randomwordgenerator.com. This is actually really great for writers who are just looking for, I just need an adjective to describe a thing, or I need a noun or some combination thereof. What we're going to do in each episode, we're going to have it generate 3 adjectives, and we're going to choose one to be the inspiration for the class option that we create. So let's get 3 random adjectives. Physical, realistic, and organic. Well, I don't know if realistic should be applied to an alchemist. As a physics educator, I would feel a little bit odd with that. Organic is really cool, because what if you did like an alchemist of living things? But then again, physical. There is a little bit of a gap in the design space for alchemists to specialize in physical damage, right? I'm going to go over to Player Core 2 on the other monitor and just review this. So Bomber deals all the energy types of damage. Chirurgeon is a healer. Mutagenist is a buffer. Toxicologist is a poisoner. We don't really have a lot of options for specializing in physical damage. So I think that's what we'll do. Let's go with a physical damage alchemist. I don't know what we'll call it yet. We'll need to come up with an evocative name here. We'll just call it physical damage alchemist. And so what I'm going to do now, the way I always start out a class design, is I just copy paste an option that already exists, and then I identify what it is that I need to change, what it is that I need to come up with. So we're going to do a paste here from Player Core 2 of the Bomber. Obviously, we are working on the name. But let's leave ourselves a comment here. Need a more evocative name. There we go. Don't think I need the outline there. Let's see. Of course, this is all collapsed together because it copy-pasted from a PDF. You specialize in explosions and other violent reactions. So this is flavor text about this research field. And then we have a few entries here. So we're going to have formulas, which is 2 common first level somethings. Field benefit. So what does this do? When throwing an alchemical bomb with the splash trait, you can choose to deal splash damage to only your primary target instead of the usual splash area. We could make this a bomber variant that specializes in physical damage, but I feel like that's not going to be good enough, because why not just write a feat for bomber that lets them use physical damage? So this is going to be some benefit / modification to the type of alchemical items you specialize in, right? So you get extra bomb formulas, and then you get to do extra things, extra effects with a bomb, so those two need to tie together. Field vials, this is the thing that is super interesting. This is the wonderful new design space that has been opened. So this is when you strike with a versatile vial, you get an extra effect, right? So versatile vials already have a stat block. right? So they already function as an acid alchemical bomb that deals an increasing amount of splash damage with an increasing attack modifier. So you're basically getting a super good focus pool of acid bombs. That's basically what versatile vials are focus points for Alchemist, but it's easier to have more of them and it's easier to reclaim them. So this, basically a field vial needs to be equivalent to a really good cantrip or a focus spell, right? So this needs to be on par with a cantrip or focus spell because this is a mostly at will ability. It's semi-limited, right? Field Discovery at 5th level. This is where we start to get some of the expanded class features. You have calculated the angles to maximize a bomb splash. When you throw an alchemical bomb with a splash trait, you can cause a bomb to deal splash damage equal to your intelligence modifier instead of the normal amount. Okay, so this needs to be another benefit modification to the type of alchemical items you specialize in. There we go. I can already tell you one of these. I'm just going to make a note because this just came to me. One of these needs to be the concussive trait or something similar. Because if we're talking about physical damage and we're talking about interacting with resistances and weaknesses, at some point we need something that interacts with the concussive trait for firearms, I think. Also think about persistent bleed, question mark. All right, advanced vials. So this is now going back to your versatile vials. So you notice it kind of alternates. You get some benefits to a type of alchemical item, and you get a benefit to your versatile vials. Then you get another benefit to your type of alchemical items, and then you're back to the versatile vials. All right, alchemical vials, 11th. You can mix special ingredients into your vials. When you create a versatile vial, you can choose to have it treated as one special material of your choice. If you're wearing or wielding an item of different precious material, when you make the vial, you can choose that material instead. Wow, that actually fits in really well. This is another benefit / modification to the... no, not another, excuse me. This is specifically vials, right? When you create a versatile vial, yep. So this is another add-on to versatile vials. Perhaps keep the existing one about special materials, question mark. That is kind of crucial. Like, the game really does assume that you get access to special materials, because by the time you get to about that level, you start fighting creatures that are, you know, resistant to all physical damage except adamantine or something like that. What was the options there? What were the options there? One special material of your choice. Okay, chosen from adamantine, cold iron, and dawn silver. Okay, and I think those are all... Are those common? Adamantine? The other tool we'll be using frequently is, of course, Archives of Nethys and Pathfinder2e. So what I've done in Chrome here is I've set a little shortcut. I probably should demonstrate this. I've created a shortcut so that when I type in PF, it searches automatically on Archives of Nethys and Pathfinder2e so that I get all the information I need from a Pathfinder 2nd edition lens. I guess in the coming months I need to expand that to include the Starfinder wiki and Starfinder Archives of Nethys when we get 2nd edition. That's actually interesting because the material is uncommon, but the game kind of assumes that you get an adamantine weapon at some point. Or something else uncommon. That's an interesting way to sneak in auto access to something uncommon. All right, greater field discovery, you can increase the splash of your bombs. And so this is now another add-on benefit to the type of alchemical item you specialize in. Okay, so this is what I always do at the beginning of a design, is I try to outline what do I need to create in order for this to be complete. And then I go in and I can fill in those blanks. And that, because that kind of helps me start thinking about how I turn the fantasy into the options. Now, the other thing we need to look at is whether there are any class feats that presume a certain research field. So for example, Soothing Vials, first level feat, has a prerequisite of the Churgeon research field. On the other hand, Quick Bomber and Farlobber do not require the bomber research field. So how common is it to have a research field prerequisite? I've got Soothing Vials at first level. And that's actually it. So we can create one if we want. With prereq of this research field. But this is not the norm, right? It's actually an exception for the Churgeon there. All right. So I think the straightforward thing to do with this is to just say that your versatile vials can deal any type of physical damage you want, right? Then they're on par with, say, with cantrips, and they're on par with telekinetic projectile if we let you have the choice of bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing each time. So let's head up to, let me get back to the wording from Bomber. Sorry, I have the PDF on another screen because I get it as an Infinite Master. I don't get it as an influencer, so I don't know the degree to which I'm expected to keep that off the screen. Let's see, Versatile Vials. Okay, so the wording for Bomber. Sorry, I ended up in Investigator somehow. Here we are. All right, when throwing out a chemical bomb with a splash trait, you can choose to deal splash. Oh, wait, sorry, that's the field benefit. I need field vials. Yeah, here we go. All right, so on par with the cantrip focus spell, I think this is good. When you strike with a versatile vial, you can choose to have it deal bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage instead of acid damage. You're still getting the acid option, but now you've got that additional there. Now, question, does that deal splash? It does. Okay, so you are getting splash. You're getting splash, bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage. When you strike with a versatile vial, you can choose to have it deal bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage. That sounds reasonable. All right, so the formulas. So there was a junk bomb at one point. How up to date is that? Because I believe that dealt some kind of damage. This volatile looking bomb was cobbled together from jagged metal, scrap, broken glass, and other bits of razor sharp fragments, lashed around a core of explosive alchemical slag. God, I love the flavor text in these things. A junk bomb deals the listed slashing damage, persistent bleed damage, and piercing splash damage. Oh, wow. Okay, I think this is nice and thematic, and the fact that this is uncommon, I think, is good. Now, what do we have about PFS Limited? What does PFS Limited mean? Not that they're going to be using my Pathfinder Infinite option in Society, but people do use that as their guideline sometimes. Rare but not unheard of. Only specifically allowed by a boon. Okay. All right. So let's say you get access to the junk bomb. You gain the formula for, is it gain or learn a formula? You always want to make sure you get the verbs correct. In addition to any formulas you gained. Okay, let's double check on research field here. Add these formulas to your formula book at first level. Okay, so you can talk about add or you can talk about gaining. Formula for junk bombs. And one other, I want to say you get another bomb, but I kind of wonder if we shouldn't look for something else. Because as I'm thinking about this, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about looking ahead. I wonder if you could make this like, you're not just a bomber who deals physical damage, but maybe you deal with like your specialty is physical material. Like I'm thinking like, can this be the alchemist who goes and damages a creature's armor? Can this be the alchemist who specializes? Can this be the alchemist who specializes in like cold iron blanches over weapons? What was that thing called? Cold iron, chunk ingot, buckler, cold iron blanch lesser. Okay, this does require access to the Pathfinder Society. I mean, you're an alchemist. You get to invent this stuff, right? Do they have any other blanches, or is it just that one? Cold iron blanch. And then we get to bleaching. That's not promising for what we're looking for. Alchemical tools. Matchstick. Sorry, I'm trying to get this scrolling within scrolling going on. Pop dust, rust scrub, snake oil, alchemical fuse, animal repellent, aroma concealer. Wow, there's a lot here that you don't really get elsewhere. Okay, so alchemical tools is a new term for me. I'm looking at it in GM Core. So this is things like glow rods and matchsticks and silver salves and smoke balls and snake oil. Oh, that's it. That's the 5 alchemical tools in GM Core. That's interesting. Because down here, I've got things outside of that. So things like sparklers and pop dust and rust scrub. Okay, you know what? They have a note earlier in GM Core that alchemical tools are best used for adding a little weirdness. They can be creative and interesting, but tend not to be powerful. So I'm a little bit concerned if we make it alchemical tools, then we're kind of shortchanging this alchemist. But then again, junk bombs are kind of great. Right? I mean, where did I go with junk bombs? There we go. Junk bombs are kind of great because they're dealing persistent bleed and splash. So I think I'm okay with that. What if we make it junk bombs and 2 alchemical tools? Because we are locking them into the junk bombs. The junk bomb is kind of equivalent to a field vial there. I mean, not equivalent, but like it's kind of occupying a lot of the same space as a field vial. But if we make it 2 alchemical tools, I could see that being enough room to have some fun. Field benefits. Some benefit modification, the type of alchemical items you specialize in. Okay, let's think about... So do we want to modify the junk bomb or do we want to modify the alchemical tools? Well, let's see. Under chemical tools, I did find there was another, there was silver salve. So they called one a blanch and one a salve. Seems like those could have gotten a common trait. Silver salve is an item level 2. The next hour, the weapon or ammunition counts as silver. Okay. So let's think about this. Field benefit. Maybe this is where we put in the armor damage. Yeah, let's say... Or should that be a field discovery? Let's say when you deal physical damage with an alchemical bomb... Junk bomb here, alchemical bomb. Yep, it counts as a bomb. It should. It has the word bomb in it. Actually, let's make it a crit. When you critically hit with an alchemical bomb, that deals physical damage. The target also takes a -1 something penalty to AC for how long? till the end of till the until the end of your next turn. It's a little weird to think about armor healing itself, but also, yeah, it's also weird to think about, like, I want to be able to impose that on creatures that don't wear armor. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I kind of want to make that an item penalty, but that's going to get really powerful because now you're stacking with other circumstance penalties that apply. Let's make it a circumstance penalty. Because if you're an alchemist, you're probably not going into flanking. Melee alchemist, please tell me I'm wrong. But I think a -1 circumstance penalty to AC until the end of your next turn is good there. Because here's the thing, if the creature is being flanked, you probably don't want to be bombing them anyway, right? Okay. When you strike with a versatile vial, you can choose to have it deal bludgeoning. Because that's the thing is, this now, because your versatile vial has the bomb trait, right? Because your versatile vial has the bomb trait, you're now getting that effect on a crit with your versatile vials. So I think that's good. Gosh, should that be item? What are the ways to get a circumstance penalty to armor class? Is off guard, right? Because frightened is status. Yeah, frightened is a status penalty. Off guard is a, well, but then again, if you bomb and then somebody else goes up and they're, well, God, yeah, but the thing is, that means if a creature's frightened and flanked and you get this off, you're looking at a -4, maybe -5 net penalty to their armor class. But then again, this is limited to a crit. Okay, let's. I'm gonna call it item. I'll think about it in editing. Think about item or circumstance in editing. I'm sure I'll get comments on the video about one way versus the other. All right. Field Discovery 5th. Another benefit modification to the type of alchemical items you specialize in. Okay. When did Bomber get that special materials? Because I feel like this should be important. That was 11th. Okay. I think I am gonna make that here. Oh, wait, no. I liked the concussive trait too, though. You know what? Let's do that. You can choose to give your... when you strike with a versatile vial and deal physical damage, you can choose to give the versatile vial the concussive trait. Concussive trait is it counts as piercing and bludgeoning for whichever would be worse for the target. There's more specific wording than that, but it would be cool. It would be cool to have that, I think, especially if it's a bomb and it's shooting pellets or something. Okay, I need another benefit/modification of the type of alchemical items you specialize in. All right, if Junk Bomb already deals persistent bleed, I don't think I want to get more persistent bleed there. Let's see. This is Field Discovery 5th. It might be nice to... We could modify this penalty to AC. Ooh, yes. You know what? When you critically hit with an alchemical bomb that deals physical damage, the item penalty also applies to the target's reflex saves. There we go. And then greater field discovery, another benefit. So this needs to be like increasing the splash radius or giving you far lobber or something like that. What could we do with this? We haven't done anything with alchemical tools. We have not done anything with alchemical tools. What could we do with alchemical tools? Well, should that be the field benefit instead, would be the alchemical tools? Yeah, you know what? I think I like that better. Let's upgrade this one to 11th level, or 13th, excuse me. Let's upgrade this one to the 5th level. And then I feel better about that being item, if that's at 5th level. The field benefit should be about alchemical tools. How about just you can draw and activate... You can draw an alchemical tool as part of its activation, something like that, right? Yeah, if alchemical tools are a little bit less powerful than bombs and things, I think I like that. Okay, yeah. You can draw an alchemical tool. What's the wording on that you are wearing / having a bandolier, something like that, as part of activating it. Alchemist toolkit. Hey, there we go. So mobile collection of vials and chemicals can be used for simple alchemical tasks. If you wear your Alchemist toolkit, you can draw and replace them as part of the action that uses them. Does that hold alchemical tools? Okay. You fashion an alchemical toolkit that can hold up to, what was it on the thrower's bandolier? 2 bulk. Because it doesn't actually say what goes in the alchemical toolkit. This mobile collection of vials and chemicals can be used for simple alchemical tasks. If you wear your Alchemist toolkit, you can draw and replace them as part of the action that uses them. So I think that's if you are wearing an alchemical toolkit. All right, so what requires you to use an alchemical toolkit? Because it doesn't show up in Player Core 2 with the Alchemist. I don't have Alchemist toolkit. That's why I can't find it. I keep calling it the wrong name. Alchemist toolkit. Okay, so like for example, identify alchemy requires you are holding or wearing an Alchemist toolkit. Okay, I don't see anything there. All right, now with the correct name, let's go search in Player Core 2. Alchemist toolkit. You can store all your versatile vials in your Alchemist toolkit. You don't need to craft to do this. You can use Alchemist toolkit instead of Alchemist lab. Let's see. Alchemist toolkit. Improvise, add mixture. It's interesting. It doesn't say you gain an Alchemist toolkit. Okay, let's just say you gain. You fashion an Alchemist Alchemist toolkit that can hold up to 2 bulk of alchemical tools. You can draw an alchemical tool from this toolkit as part of activating the tool. There we go. All right, so I kind of like this because this is now you are breaking and fixing stuff. I know that's not what alchemical tools are for. Oh yeah, what's the flavor text? Because this is the physical alchemist. Let's see. Your research focuses on manipulating physical components, be it the lowliest scrap or the finest armor. I think I know what I want this to be. Metallurgy. Metallurgist is always a noun for what you are. I think I like this. I think I like the metallurgist research field. So this is now the metallurgist. All right, so the way this will work, thank you for working through this class with me. I really look forward to seeing your comments. Wish I could see them in real time. But the way this will work, I'm going to tidy this up, do some editing. I'm going to get this nice and formatted in the template for Pathfinder Infinite. It will go up on Pathfinder Infinite the day that this video publishes. Look for the link in the description below. And half of the proceeds from this from the sales will go to me, and half will go to the We're Strong Together group, so that we can continue to produce great content both on the channel and on Pathfinder Infinite. So, thank you so much for watching. Stay strong together.